And, Mackey's been doing this for over 3 decades. It's essentially, basically all that experience and expertise has been bundled into this product to kind of bring us to the next generation of content creators. I see you got a road hat on there, so, we're ready to blow you away with this product. So.
I can't wait.
So there's a lot of things in this product that really make it different than anything else. And the first thing that it is that we offer is these different control modes. So you have an easy mode, an enhanced mode, and a pro mode. So what we're doing is essentially we're bridging the gap between, from a beginner, somebody that has no audio experience, to a seasoned professional that has all the controls. A pro might come and use this thing and be like, oh, this is a toy, it's just got presets in here. It doesn't really have all the fine tuning that I want. So this thing basically is going to give you all the tools and everything that you would want to use. So in easy mode, essentially what you have is like it's basically a preset based workflow. So in the channel here, we've got our setup assistant on.
Do you want to go through the setup assistant?
We can, yeah, but let me do this first. Let's go into the channel. So in the channel, you've got essentially a preset based workflow. So I'm currently using the EM89D. This is Mackey's handheld microphone. It's only $50. Comes with a cable and a clip and a bag for $50. This is perfect like against an SM58 or something like that. But you can go in here. We have a lot of presets for our broadcast microphones. We have presets for the Shure SM7B, broadcast presets. So you can just kind of go in, select a preset, EM89D, hit load. I can change the channel icon, I can change the color of the track, I can name the track, and then I can go in and, so we'll just kind of do VO, voiceover, and I can bypass the processing. So this is what it sounds like. This is what it sounds like. So this is no processing at all. So you can kind of hear the sibilants, the S's, it's not compressed. If you bought a mixer or like an audio interface, a Focusrite 2i2 and plugged it in, this is kind of the sound that you would get. But when I turn on the processing, now I've got this EQ'd, compressed, all the stuff happening in the background, basically give you a professional sound right out of the box. Then you've got a microphone setup selection, and this is part of our Mix Agent technology. And Mix Agent, so if you go here, it's gonna actually walk you through connecting all of your gear to the mixer. So I can go in here and I can say, oh, I have the EM89D, I can hit next, and then we've got automatic gain settings, so I can set that. I talk into the microphone, you're not hearing anything right now. What it does is analyzes the peaks, and then it's gonna actually set the level for you. So now you got a good gain staging built right in. So really quick workflow. I can set up my boom arms, set up my microphones. I get everybody comfortable where they're feeling. I can just put the microphone right in the right place. Everybody talks into the mic, and boom, it sets the level for you. You got a preset dialed in. Everything's ready to go.
Think about that for a second. If we're all going to do a show and we're going to talk about, I don't know, dry erase markers or how to pickle cucumbers or whatever it is we're talking about, we can sit down and without knowing anything about anything, the setup assistant literally walks you through where to plug it in, what button to press. If you're not hearing anything, press the help button, and it'll say, okay, go back and do this. Make sure you're plugged into the right input. Listen and set for me, because what's mic pre-gain? I don't know. What's a mic pre? What's a mic? And that's
Absolutely.
what this feature does.
Yeah, it's going to walk you through the entire process of setting up your mixer. So kind of think of it like I like to say is like if you can read, you can use this mixer. So if you bring a 5-year-old in here, a 6-year-old can read at a kindergarten level, it's a few sentences. If you just follow the on-screen prompts, you can literally plug in, it lights up on the screen, tells you where to plug in, matches up the number, tells you to hit this button, talk into the mic, it sets the level for you. And that's what's really kind of cool too, is like you don't have to have any audio experience or an audio engineering degree to operate this thing. So as sales engineers or selling products over here, how many times have you guys had phone calls where it's like, I can't get my mic to work, I'm not getting any sound. It's like, well, did you turn it on? Did you plug it into the channel? Did you turn up the fader? All of a sudden, whoa, you get a big old feel. Okay, good, I got it now. Okay, cool, man. So it's a very simplified process to really kind of allow anybody that has no experience at all to get a professional sound. And that's the whole idea about DLZ creators. Like, you can get a professional sound with no audio experience quickly. So that's your easy mode. Then we have an enhanced mode that's going to give you a little bit more control without an overwhelming amount of options. So if you, essentially, it's like if you have some type of audio experience, maybe you've used a mixer before, you know about EQ, compression, you want a little bit more control, you can do that. So in the enhanced mode, you've got, let's go over here, just make sure we're in there.
We are.
Okay, cool, perfect. And then just kind of show them on the channel what it looks like. So you've got that same preset based workflow that was in the easy mode. So it's the same channel strip that you had in the easy mode. But now you've got a couple more options. We just ask you, are you using a dynamic mic or is it a condenser? You've got the automatic gain setting right there built into the next channel. And then you have your effects. So I can just toggle those on quickly. We've got a reverb and delay in here. Let's go! Put some effects on. And then you can go into the advanced controls. And this is kind of like a little bit more control. So you've got, of course, this is all a touch screen, so I can go in here and manually adjust my gain. I can turn it up, turn it down. What's cool, these quick rotary knobs actually map out to the processors that are on the screen. So if I want to add a little bit more bass to my voice, I can boost up the bass. I can turn that down. It's kind of like your car stereo. So I have a little bit of control. So I can turn up the bass, I can turn up the mids, the treble. I can toggle the processors on and off. Your high pass filter, your noise gate, compression. I can get a little bit more compression if I want to do that. Kind of compress the heck out of it so you totally squashed it there. And then you got your de-essing. And that's what you're going to get in the enhanced controls. And then in your pro mode.
This is for someone, like, if you think about the customer journey, like the easy mode is for someone who literally needs to walk through every step.
Right.
And then enhanced mode is maybe someone who's done this for a while. This room is very reflective.
Yeah, is it bouncing all over the walls? I think the microphone's sitting close. I'll mute it.
You know, then the enhanced mode is for someone who's been doing this a while and now has read about compression and delay and wants some extra things and kind of knows how to work in EQ now. And those features are in here. Now, something to keep in mind, both for Sammy's employees and any end users here, like, this is version 1. This mixer came out 6 weeks ago now?
Yeah, May
Yeah, 6 weeks ago. So then I already know some cool things that are coming in the next firmware. That's going to be a free upgrade. You just download it and throw it in. So there's a lot of cool things that are coming that'll make workflow even faster and more features that we're hearing back from the pro users in broadcast and in other places that we're talking. So
How soon will that firmware be out? You know, for the next.
I'll give you the best answer I've ever gotten from engineering ever. So Wesley, when's that firmware update going to be out? She says when it's out. Probably within the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, a couple of weeks.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
And they're going to constantly be doing that as well.
Yeah.
So I can just give you one hint. There's going to be multiple languages in the unit as
That's
well.
what I was.
Spanish, French, all the the most popular languages are going to be in here. So it's going to work for anybody across the world pretty much. And then I was going to get in. So you got your pro mode here. And it's all going to look familiar as you move in from the different modes. So if you start off in a beginner and easy mode, essentially, you're going to see that channel strip. You go into the enhanced mode. It's all going to look familiar to you. So as you continue to use the product, get more confident with the product, you're going to basically grow with it over time until you feel really confident in operating all this stuff. So in the pro mode, this is all the processing that's taking place behind the curtain. You've got a 3-band parametric EQ. With a high pass filter, so I can go into the EQ, I can literally roll out all of the low end, so now I got no low end going on my vocal. I can just dial it in just like that, slide it out. Of course, like I said, all of the parameters here map out to what's going on the screen. The quick rotary knobs over here, you've got a gate, so perfect for blocking out background noise. If you've got an air conditioner or kids running around in the background, you can definitely do that. I do have kids.
we have 11 between us. He's
10.
got 6 and I've got 5. He's won the race. We're not racing anymore.
Exactly. We're still going. All right, so you've got your range here. I can adjust my threshold. I've got everything that I would need essentially in Pro Tool, essentially a pro set of tools that a pro would use. I've got a compressor and a de-esser. And what's cool is if I go back into the easy mode, like I said earlier, is that these are non-destructive. So You're not sacrificing any sound quality or processing power by being in the easy mode. So I'm still getting the same sound that I would in the pro mode. All of that processing that we dialed in is still happening. It's just hidden from the user. So that way they can't mess nothing up. So a pro user could come in and set this up for a new user. Think about churches, houses of worship. I mean, podcast, anything that you're setting up, somebody can just come in here and quickly dial in your sound, get it all the way you like it, and everything will be ready to go when you just turn the mixer on. It remembers the last known state. You could save snapshots. So if you're doing a show at a certain place, you can dial in all the microphones, save it, and next time you go to that place, you just hit load, and everything that you've dialed in is ready to go. So it's essentially like a computer that's built into here, and you've got a 10.1-inch display. It's the largest in class, but that's not everything.
One more.
Go ahead, yeah.
To give you a reference point, the Rodecaster from Rode is a fantastic product. It's been the best product in this space for 5 years now, probably.
Yeah, it's the big fish in the pond, right?
And right now, from the information we're getting back from our resellers all over the country, we're selling one to about every 4.5 or 5 after 6 weeks. I just want to show you a reference. This is the size of a Rodecaster screen.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, the other thing too is everything's available to you at the top level. So if I'm ever lost in a menu, I can just hit this home button up here, and it's going to bring me back to my overview screen. Everything can be accessed from the overview screen. So there's no tabbing through menus. There's no squinting. It's going to give you more confidence as a user instead of like looking in and be like, oh, I got to get to my EQ. Let me move over to this thing right here. Let me toggle over to this page and get into this effect. This is a much faster workflow, which is also important. It's going to save you time and give you confidence in your content creation. So you essentially, when I can go, I can just literally double tap on any of these channels. It's going to bring up my EQ, my preset, whatever mode that I'm in, and everything's ready to go. Try to make it as easy as possible, like a double tap almost. It's like using a tablet, essentially. The other thing is, so that's not all. So the control modes is going to bridge the gap from someone that has no experience to somebody that's a seasoned professional. Now, the next thing that we offer is the setup assistant. So when you go into the setup assistant, this is like your own personal audio assistant built into the mixer. And this is literally going to walk you through the entire process of connecting all of your gear. So instead of teching people, having them call you all the time, saying, hey, how do I do this? How do I do that? This is literally the process that's going to save you a lot of headache and a lot of time. Literally, it tells you the entire thing. If you can read, I mean, you can use this mixer. So it's literally 2 sentences. It tells you, hey, it's going to help you connect your headphones, microphones, and other devices. Before we start, make sure you turn up your channel faders to unity gain so that way you can hear the audio coming through. It lights up in the green area to kind of tell you where you're at. Lights up in the back and tells you where to plug in your headphones. I don't have my headphones plugged in currently, but what it does, or I do, but I don't know if you guys can hear this. Let's see if you can hear it. It actually plays an audio bed of music for you in the headphones and asks you to adjust the level to get a proper listening level. There's a help section here, also with the microphones, but it tells you if you're not hearing anything, make sure that you're plugged into the right jack, make sure that you're using a proper adapter. If you're still not hearing anything, try a different pair of headphones. So it's going to hold your hand through the entire process. Then it's going to light up and tell you to connect your inputs 1 through 4, so all of your microphones. We have 4 combo inputs here, so you can do 1/4 inch or XLR, dynamic or condenser. I can plug in instruments, everything that you would want to do, and 80 dB of gain. So this is the most in class. So I think the Rode offers 75 dB, we offer 80. So oh, is it 70?
They offer 70.
Oh, I didn't know that. So you don't need a cloud lifter, no line lifter. I could take an SM7B, I could take an RE20 EV, I could plug right in here. Plenty of gain, plenty of headroom, low noise, sounds great. And it's gonna walk you through the process. So essentially it's kind of like what we did in the easy mode, where you can just select the microphone that you're using, you hit next, and then it's gonna do the automatic gain setting feature, and it's gonna repeat itself for each individual input. So if you have all 4 microphones plugged in, you just repeat that process. Then you've got your other inputs here, which is channel 5 and 6, 7 and 8, and 9 and 10. And what's cool about this is literally I've got line level inputs, so I can plug, let's say, a DJ on Twitch. He's scratching, doing his thing. You've got USB audio returns. I've got 2 stereo USB audio returns, so with mix minus. So I can have Instagram Live, Twitch, Discord, whatever 2 softwares that I want to use, I can have those routed back into the mixer with mix minus. People can come onto my chat, and what mix minus means is essentially I'm going to give the listener or the person that's on my chat all of the mix, everything that's happening in the mixer minus their own voice. So there's no echo, there's no delay. I can interact with my audience in real time. You've also got Bluetooth call-in support with Mix Minus, so I can have my cell phone hooked up. I can take calls in like a radio station, a broadcast. So I can have Instagram Live running with my phone running. People can call into my chat, and I can have all that interaction in real time. You've got a disc, so you can play audio back from an SD card or a thumb drive, and I can also record to those devices, so with no computer. So multi-track or stereo file. So you can select these inputs, what you're using, and then as you do that, it's going to light up on the back, and it's going to tell you where to plug in, just like it did the headphones. So it says plug your line level instrument here, hook up your 1/8 inch here, pair your device. We'll pair that later. I've got 6 sample pads here with a dedicated volume control. Sorry to blow your ears out there. But you've got, with 4 banks as well. So it comes with 6 samples in here, but with the SD card or the thumb drive, I can load up my own samples. I've also got outputs to a speaker, studio monitors, or you can actually use this in a live setting if you wanted to. If this is enough inputs for you, you could use this live. And then it tells me your setup is all complete. So not only do we have the different control modes that transform the on-screen controls, you've got the mix agent technology that's going to walk you through connecting all of your gear. It's a personal audio assistant. You've also got your automatic gain setting. I talk into the mic, it sets the level for me. And then the third thing that we offer is what's called auto mix. So you turn that on. And auto mix, when you toggle this on, it's going to allow you to set priority between the microphones. So I have a high priority, medium, and a low priority. And what happens is if I have all 4 microphones plugged in at the same time, if I'm at the highest priority, the other mics, when they begin to talk, it actually lowers the level of the microphone, so I don't have to grab the faders. So we'll kind of experiment with that.
Can you unmute me?
Perfect.
Check, 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 check. Hey, it's CJ and Brad.
Wait a second, CJ, we're gonna...
You can tell that, hey.
Hey, welcome. Tell us a little about yourself, CJ.
So, my name is CJ.
All right, that's enough, thank you. So as you can see, it actually lowers the level of the microphone automatic, so you don't have to come over to the faders. I don't have to grab the faders. Literally, I can set all this stuff up, dial it in, grab my microphone, start my podcast. You no longer need a sound engineer, so we're going to be out of a job pretty soon.
Mm-hmm. I'm still a keyboard player.
Yeah, well, he's an amazing keyboard player, by the way.
So what's, and Brad, that's a great point. Like, when you get motivated enough to talk about whatever it is you want to talk about on the internet with 3 of your closest friends, the last thing you want to be doing is messing around with a mixer during the podcast. You want to look into their eyes and talk about whatever it is. Sometimes it might get heated. That's what Mix Minus is for.
Don't talk about politics.
Don't talk about politics. Yeah, politics.
Yeah, politics and religion, right? What's all the crazy ones, right?
80s versus 90s music.
There you go. That's another one. So as you can see, you literally talk into the mic, it sets the level, it lowers it for you depending on the priority. So if you're hosting the show, you don't have to run to the faders anymore. You can dial all this stuff in. It really alleviates a lot of the process of the mixing thing that you would have to do.
You sound a lot better than I do.
It's because I'm louder. Cool, so I'll mute that. And essentially that's auto mix. So not only that's what the mix agent technology is, and that's a proprietary technology that comes from Mackie. So Mackie basically has created this from the ground up, and there's going to be a lot of different use cases through the firmware updates. This is like a computer built in here. So over time, we're going to be fine-tuning this process. We're going to be adding more things as well. So this product is going to grow with you over time, and this is just the beginning. So this is the first product that Mackie's done this for.
anybody either have broadcast customers or work in the broadcast type industry?
Yeah.
Do you see, Kevin, the Ethernet port on the back? I'm having conversation right now with Keycode Media out here. The president of Keycode is a key opinion leader, I should say, I guess, on NDI, Network Digital Interface. And what NDI is effectively a way to transport audio over Ethernet. Because currently, and you guys, Craig and John, you can tell me if I'm right about this, what we understand is for audio to get to a TriCaster on a movie set or a shoot, it comes to a Mackie mixer, because that's what we do, and it goes out analog into some sort of device that is connected to TriCaster. This way, with NDI, this could go on a network switch, and it could go to that TriCaster, or that one over there, or that one 4 miles away going on fiber to the other CBS studios or wherever.
Right.
That's a feature that we intend to add to this in the coming months.
Broadcast studios, radio stations, multiple locations, schools, houses of worship. They could have multiple rooms with multiple DLZs all connected into a network, all controlled from one central location. So that there's just a lot of flexibility with routing capabilities, and that's not all. So we kind of went over mix agent, we went over the control modes, and now you've got other cool features in here which is going to blow your mind. You've got multi-track recording down to a disc. So I can do down to an SD card, to a thumb drive. I can record just the stereo file or all the multi-track completely standalone. So you don't have to use a computer. I can take this thing in a backpack. Of course, we make a bag for it, and microphones. Literally plug this thing in anywhere I'm at, and I can record the entire session down to an SD card, and it doesn't require any computer. Now I can use it with a computer. I can multi-track or stereo record. So if I want to use this as an audio interface, I can do that. I could do either or both at the same time. Really, it's up to you. You've got snapshots. You can save your snapshots in here. You've got samples. You can go in and fine tune the samples. Kind of think of it like a machine or some type of audio drum software or whatever. I can go in, I can edit the start time, the end time, I can fade it in, fade it out, I can adjust the trim, I can change the type of the way that it triggers the sample. Just a lot of flexibility in this unit.
Can you play a sample?
Yes. So that's just like, this is like a retrigger mode. We've got those built in, and those 6 come with it, but then you can go into the different banks. We've got it's time to wake up. Those are cool.
Those are two I downloaded onto a thumb drive in Puerto Rico 2 weeks ago when I was demoing this, and someone said, "Hey, can you load in your own samples?" I said, "Yeah, but I don't have any." And they're like, "Well, go get some." So I went and got some off the internet, and I loaded them in.
You can also do auto ducking, so intro and outro music, and then when you start to talk over the music, it lowers the level for you. Bring it back in, start talking again, lower. Hey, welcome everybody to the show. Glad you all joined us today. This is DLZ Creator. So there's just a lot of flexibility and possibilities with this unit. So 3 main things. There's another feature that I want to tell you about that I don't think anyone else is doing currently, is in the Pro mode, when I tap on the headphone, let's make sure we're in Pro mode, we are. When you tap into the headphone here, you've got custom headphone mixes. So by default, it's on standard. So whatever's running out of the main output goes right to your headphones. But the custom option is going to allow you, it works like an auxiliary send on an analog mixer. So I can go into the channels, I can say, okay, I want a little bit of this headphone, I want a little bit of this channel, whatever channels you want to pick and choose to send out of the headphone output, you can do that. And you got capability on 4 headphone outputs. So it's essentially like 4 auxiliary sends. But what makes this different than an analog mixer is that I have that option to send it over USB. So what that means is that if I'm doing a stream on YouTube and I've got a producer in my ear and he's telling me, I'm a sports broadcaster, and it's like, that's the 3rd interception. Well, I don't want them to hear the producer that's feeding me the stats in my ear. I can create a custom headphone mix where I can hear the producer, but that producer doesn't go out into the stream. So now I've got complete customization, essentially, what's going out to my stream, what's in my headphones, all built into the unit here. So a lot of cool flexibility. This product is $799. It's got a 10.1 inch screen, quick rotary knobs, 100mm faders, the sample pads, all the inputs on the back here. You guys are more than welcome to come and check this thing out. It's very light, and if you work here, you guys get a special deal, so definitely come and see me for that. So yeah, if you have any questions, let me know.
How's the build quality?
Well, it's Mackie, built like a tank.
We haven't dropped one off a building yet. We can try that.
Yeah, no, it probably would crush though if we dropped this one. Usually most of our VLZs are, you know, we
had
run them over.
a
But
video series a number of years ago called Mixer Busters. It's where the engineering team literally got on the third, fourth floor of our building in Seattle, and they dropped mixers off into the parking lot, and then they would plug them in and see which ones worked. And there was our mixer, there was brand Y, brand B, and brand A. And so that was the first test. And then they hit them with baseball bats, and they drove over them with a truck. And at the end of every one of these, they would plug the mixer in. Does it still work? They started it on fire. And after that, the only mixer that made sound was Mackie. So, yeah, this is a polypropylene cabinet. So it's not built like our VLZ mixers, but it's also 6 pounds, and we make a backpack for it.
Oh, they make it back.
yeah,
Yes.
super light, very portable. I've been traveling all over the place. I have a nice little SKB case over there, but you know, throw that thing in there, microphones, you're ready to rock and roll.
So I know you guys work for Sammy's, and I know what your story is. What is your story?
Just long term, I've been doing on and off audio recording for people. And my background is very noise and radio, so
Excellent.
Cool.
I
Excellent.
know it's good.
Well, thank you guys for coming. If you have other questions, come on up.